get through to. I was like, you both are the two people I couldn't get through to, but now it's my problem. Like, what's going on here? It's just blame Circa. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot, but I need to get out of my system before the podcast starts.
Anyway, Circa, how has, again, yeah, there we go. How's your week been? You said it's been
busy, very busy, working a lot. Well, I'm not working any more than I was, but we just set up TikTok page, so I'm trying to work on that and just a lot of random stuff.
I get you.
How about you?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I've been good. Just living life and working away. Financial year end is coming up, so life's about to get really tough, but we work through it.
We move.
What was I going to say to you? So obviously, you have not been up to date with any madness that's been going on lately, I've realized.
No, I barely go on my phone.
What? Have you anything whatsoever?
Like, no, like, the only thing that's popping off on my social media is this Barbie Oppenheimer shit, like the Barbieheimer thing. You know that? Like, it's all over all social media right now. Best marketing out there.
Have you watched the movie
for real? What?
Have you watched the movie yet?
No, it's not till the 21st. But you know, I was saying to my mans, I was like, "We're going to watch Barbie," and he was like, "What? No, we're not." And I was like, "I will pay you. I want to go see this movie." He was like, "We're not going to watch Barbie. I'm not going to see Barbie in the cinema." I was like, "Oh, so yesterday when you said you'd do anything for me, and now today this is anything. I'm cashing in. Bring me to see Barbie." I feel like a 4-year-old.
Bad,
Would you not?
Bad performance.
Me?
You're trying to use your card the one time.
I have to.
But how about if you needed to use it another time? That means you've used it, so you can't use it again.
I can use it as often as I want. As long as he's getting the coochie, that card is unlimited. I'll revoke the coochie. No more coochie for you.
Just in case if you're watching this, I'm speechless. I can't speak on it, so each to their own. What mad thing has happened this week? Well, obviously you don't know about
tell me the update.
Adam 22. So basically, from what I've seen, Adam 22 is married to this woman. Her name is Lena the Plug. I don't know if she is a corn star, or I think she's an OF girl, but I think she's a corn star as well. I'm not 100% sure. But long story short, it seemed like he let her do bits with this guy called intercourse with this guy called Jason Love, and social media's been going mad because they're married, and then people are obviously like, why are you letting your wife do rubbish with another guy? And you know, the relationship is their relationship, but like depending on the type of person you are, whether you're polygamous or monogamous or however you think relationship should be, I don't know, but me personally, I think it is a bit crazy. Obviously, because the person I am, I think like being married to somebody and
see, this is the thing though. When you have a platform, is that like your life is out there. You know, you choose to talk about those things.
Yeah.
So like people have opinions. It's your choice whether you want to listen. But at the end of the day, it's none of your business what their opinions are. So if you're one of those people that don't find offense in other people's opinions, or you don't take those things to heart, what other people online are saying is just because of their beliefs and their views, their perspective. I think in that, if he said, you know, go ahead, get your bit, girl, do you, enjoy, happy birthday.
I think it was for her birthday as well.
Yeah,
he got her the, I was just like, whoa, I was like crazy. But that's I think the maddest thing that's happened. But what else is there? I know you haven't been keeping up. Like there's this NPC culture now on TikTok where these people are going live and acting like NPCs and just doing weird things. I'm like, nah, and they're making money from it.
I just looked it up real quick when you said it, and like it's creepy.
It is.
It's so creepy.
Very
like
creepy.
Why? What did it say? Burst balloon. Hearts. Burst balloon. Heart. Like what?
Rosie.
Like, roses.
But
weird.
Nah, people are weird. But yeah, look.
How do people find entertainment out of that?
I don't know. So can people find entertainment out of a lot of entertainment out of weird things? Like I'm one of them people who always watch chiropractors cracking people, and people.
I like that though. That's so satisfying.
Who's your favorite one?
A dragon.
Mondragon the chiropractor.
Yeah, she's so
good. Shout out Mondragon the chiropractor. Probably never see this, but shout out.
So good.
Yeah. I genuinely say I'd fly to Florida just for its.
Oh, I know. And then sometimes, I was watching ones and there was this one guy and it made me feel like, is he just going in afterwards with the microphone and like cracking glow sticks?
I've never been to chiropractor before.
I have, but the chiropractor didn't crack me like that. Like, you know what I mean? But she did like, my hips are like, I have a posterior pelvic tilt. So my anterior, posterior, I don't know. Anyways, I have a pelvic tilt.
Mm-hmm.
So like the way she would place the bed, she would like slam down on the bed and like try to replace my hips. But it was over a course of 12 weeks. But at no point throughout any of it did she crack any of my bones or do any of that fun shit. She did my neck once. That was scary. That scared the shit out of me. She grabbed my head. I said, "What the fuck are you doing right now? I can't. I cannot handle this."
I went, but I didn't really. I don't know. Maybe because Mondragon, the chiropractor, has, when I see her, she does a lot more than just cracking. And I feel like they just do like the basic stuff. Like she looks like she really does go in for her patients. So maybe like I have a level of expectation from chiropractors when I watch her.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
But I usually go to Utopia.
Where's that?
Utopia is in town. It's a massage place, and they crack your back as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I want to get like normal massages because obviously in work, like we lift a lot of heavy things all day long. Like,
well, they're not that expensive. Like, how much do I pay? 60 quid every month.
Yeah, I would do that.
Not too bad.
Yeah. But see, now, I want to get my nails done. I was saying that also to my boyfriend. I was like, I want to get my nails done. Did he pick up the hint? Hell no. He just said, you should get them done. I said, okay, fine.
But
I will.
Let's get into it. So, I wanted to, I don't know, like, obviously, college season's around the corner for people who are still in college. Whoops. Everything's still good on my camera?
Yeah.
Okay. College season's around the corner for everybody who wants to go to college, and I just
back to school in general.
Back to school, like, and then we think of like, do you remember like when you were in primary school? Like, do you remember like your first day in primary school? I remember my
first day in primary school. I remember so vaguely, but my granny brought me to primary school, so I was very close with my grandparents growing up. So like after school with them most days a week, going to theirs on the weekend, go like on Easter break, like going out to them for holidays a week at a time. But I remember my first day of school, walking into it and seeing kids cry. No, I wasn't crying walking in. I remember this really well. And like I'm a sensitive person, I was a sensitive child, but I remember distinctively I wasn't crying walking in. And I saw this one boy with blonde hair crying. Obviously, I'm not gonna say his name, but like I remember his name. There was only 3 boys in my class. Imagine how small my primary school was, Demi. 3 boys in my class, 4 boys at the time, and 6 girls. Damn. Like it was tiny.
You went to primary school in the back of a shed.
In the back of a shed. I wouldn't mind though. That primary school has a really good name in Westmeath. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a good primary school, and like it was really well known for its sports and stuff.
I went to my primary school. Like obviously, I lived in Dublin. It's like so I had a big primary school. Like, but like when I was in, like, was I the only, like, there wasn't much. Like when I remember my first day in primary school, I think I cried. I remember I cried. It was crazy. I think I was the only. No, was there 2 black? There was 2 black people. Yeah, there was 2 black people in my class.
Which is insane. Like, you know?
But there was I think an Indian girl. There was 2 Chinese, 1 girl, 1 boy, and the rest were just white. Like yeah, it was crazy.
How many would you say approximately?
Oh, my class are probably about 30.
Okay.
30.
Yeah, that sounds.
But like, how many classes did you have in, like junior infants? Was there just?
It was junior and senior infants were together.
Or was there only like one group, or was there like multiple junior infants groups?
No, it was one group.
Oh,
like
we had,
our whole school, Demi, had 30 kids in it.
Oh, we had multiple people. Like,
no,
we'd have multiple groups. Like, so there'd be like 3 or 4 classes.
How many floors did your primary school have?
Our primary school was just. It wasn't floors. It was like.
One level.
One level, but like, it's
big.
Like, first is like, first, second, junior infants, senior infants, first, second, and then there'd be another building for 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 6th class. Yeah, I like primary school was crazy. I remember.
I'd say in Dublin it was mad.
Primary school was crazy. Like I was a menace.
Were you?
Like I was I was a menace.
I can't imagine you to be
No,
a
you have to.
boisterous child.
I was a menace. Like if any, like I'm telling you, if I could sit down here with some people I went to primary school, and we went back on some memories, I was a menace, Sorka. I done some. I can remember some of the things you know, when you have vivid flashbacks to certain. I know some things I done, and I can remember, and I was just like, what the fuck was I doing? Like, do you ever remember something you used to do years ago, or you done, and you're just like, what the
Idiot.
fuck
Yeah.
was I doing? I was an idiot. But yeah, junior infants, like that was crazy. I think I remember was one of my junior. I think her name was Mrs. Gray, lovely woman. She was really really nice.
They stick with you, don't they?
Yeah.
Like your teachers, my teachers in my primary school now, my principal, I'm going to get into that. That mum was just scary and abusive. But like some of the women, like my junior infants teacher was the loveliest woman on earth. Like when I see her in town now, like in Mullingar, I'd still stop and say hello and chat to her and stuff. And like it's crazy because obviously she was now, because she's still really young to me. Like I'm looking at her and I'm thinking this woman is a young woman. So when I was in junior infants, she must have been like fresh into teaching or something, because like I remember her, to me she's like a vampire. I feel like she hasn't aged, you know, that kind of way. But she was such a nice, like she definitely has put like such a been like a standing figure, you know, like when you're young and developing and stuff, and like you really hold them close to you.
Yeah, like, you know, like it is crazy to think. Like I do see some of them when I go back to Dublin, and I'm just looking and I just see them, and obviously I remember them, but I remember I don't say hi to them, and they obviously smile at me, but it's just like, yeah, it is what it is. But obviously I don't. The ones I would like, and I don't see them anymore. But yeah, Mrs. Gray was the best, and I had another teacher called Mrs. Corbett. Do you know Miss Corbett? Like she was a cool teacher.
I love the cool teachers.
She was a cool teacher.
She's like a hippy dippy teacher. What? Oh, nice. I used to have like the crushes on my primary school.
And you know, you'd be so young, and you're like, you think you're brave, and then you just realize when you get older, this woman was old enough to probably be my mother.
Yeah, had kids your age or older probably.
Yeah, but she was like, let me see. Did you ever get bullied when you were?
Yeah. Badly.
You know, I'll tell you a funny story, right? So, okay, this is hilarious. And I tell you, a lot of black people can relate to this, right? So, okay. So, I'm going to tell you the story now. So, this is how it goes. So, I remember I used to get bullied. When I was back in primary school, I used to get bullied a lot. Obviously, people used to chase me around and all this, right? One of my aunties just came fresh off the boat from Nigeria. And obviously, this was happening. And my mom is very like, don't fight, you know, just go tell the principal, the teachers. So obviously for a while that wasn't working. So my auntie came, right, and what happened? Like this, I think this low key changed my mindset. Like for this period, like this is the way I was thinking throughout before another turning point. So obviously it was one day I came home and I had a bloodshot eye or whatever, and asked me what happened, and I explained to them. My auntie went into the primary school and went on a mad one. And she just came from Nigeria. Like this was.
Can imagine like the strong
attitude,
the strong anti-Nigerian accent,
like
attitude, everything.
Attitude she was giving principals, or like, oh, they're gonna look into it, blah blah. So also it kept happening. What happened one day? It happened again. I came home. My auntie goes, "Did they beat you again?" Yeah, Sorka, I got the absolute beating of my life. And no, here now. There's more to the story. She goes, when someone beats you, you beat them back. So that's the way it went. So, and then obviously she's like, yeah, beat me back. So I did. But then she slapped me again and said, don't hit me. But it was the concept she was trying to teach me. Like, basically, if someone hits you, hit them back. Cool. So what happened again? I went into school. They thought they were bad. I did my own back. So what happened then is some
racist shit happened.
So then I got in trouble. And it's like, this is the turning. My mom that doesn't like screaming and shouting, this is when the turning point happened. My mom and my auntie went crazy. They were like, we've been coming to you complaining. And obviously I was outside, I was sitting down. And I can just remember, like, obviously I don't remember the conversation, but they were arguing. And obviously, like, they wanted to suspend me, and my mom was like, and my auntie and my mom were like, if you try this, like, no one's gonna rest in this primary school.
Mm-hmm.
They said, like, I remember them saying, nobody's gonna rest. And and you have to realize, when my auntie, years ago, and she, like, obviously she was wearing, she was, I don't, like, like I said, black people understand, she was wearing like a scarf on her head.
Mm-hmm.
She had like a big long scarf tying around her, and she just had like a normal shirt on, but like, she was a menace, like, and from then on, there, when I started hitting her, and like, I'd pick up anything and hit anybody back, like, I don't care what I had, like, I'd whack people, like,
Grab a chair.
like, I'd throw chairs at people, like, it was just one of them things, like, it was like, you're running me out, I'm gonna get you back now.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when you see those people today, you just laugh and you just look at it like, what the fuck? But yeah, that was my bullying story.
Yeah, you know, like, my primary school was so small, it was actually so difficult.
Mm.
So, like, from junior infants, senior infants, it started off so innocent, like, you bring your Barbies to school and all of a sudden my Barbie would get stolen and go missing. So, like, then you'd be so upset. And I remember one time I brought Nessa's Barbie to school and it got stolen, and like, Nessa was really upset and she was angry. She was 12 probably at the time. I was about 7. No, not 7, about 5. And like, it starts off small, like that, little things, like that little kind of conniving child behavior. And then you go into first class and second class. And then the kind of, because it's such a small class, like, exclusion would happen. So, like, break time. Like, you know, you're not allowed to come, like, play with us, like, or this, that, and the other. And then, like, birthdays would roll around and, like, you know, they'd all group up in one room. Everyone would kind of be invited to all the birthday parties. But, you know, if you weren't in the clique at that point, like, for me, it was that I had this kind of almost like childhood rivalry with this one girl. And she was just, like, from my perspective, and always remembering growing up, she was always just nasty to me. Now, I was a bit weird as a child. Like, I was quirky and bubbly and strange, just as much as I am today. No different. In fact, I've gotten weirder. So, like, but I just remember so well that this particular girl, like, we got phones. So I got a phone when I was probably in 3rd class, but it was like one of those phones where you couldn't really call or text many people, or not many people could call or text you and stuff. It was just a kid's phone. But I remember she got my number and she left me like these horrible voicemails about how my mom doesn't love me and that's why I never have lunch. And, like, you know, that my parents are never there in the evenings and that's why I don't have dinners and stuff like that. And like, all these things are obviously, it shows how much awareness children had, because I didn't have lunch much growing up. My dad was responsible for that, but I mean, I don't have a dad anymore, so it's fine. But, like, my mom was the breadwinner. She was the one that was going out getting the money. Like, she was a hard working woman, you know. And, like, this girl left all these horrible voice notes on my phone. My mom heard it. My mom flipped her shit. Like, went to the principal. I mean, the amount of times my mom went to the principal about, like, these particular instances going on. But the problem is, when you're in such a small group of primary school, like, I got along with most of the girls, but, like, you know, there was just this kind of rivalry with this one other girl. And what I found when I was a kid was that the fat card was always pulled. So, like, she called me fat. It's like, I wouldn't. Why would I call you fat when I know, like, that's a really big insult and it's something that people in my family have experienced? Like, you know, those kid mindsets, like, I would never say that. That's horrible. That's so mean. Like, what? And then because they know you're going to get in trouble for saying something so horrible, they'd do anything to get you in trouble to make you seem like the bad guy. I remember one day out with Demi, this girl, I just wore, this is like such a, like, a little sad story inside my heart, but I just got a new dress and it was coming up on, like, the summer vacations and stuff. I got, like, this flowery dress and a white cardigan and new shoes, and I'm so excited to wear it to school. And she goes to me, like, we had a really big fight over, like, the course of a week or something, and it was a Friday, and, like, we were all walking out and you all had to, like, line up. Did you guys have to line up to go to the gate? Yeah. So we all had to line up in a single file line, and she turns to me and she goes, wait until I get you outside the school gate. And I just remember when she said that, the fear that struck me, the absolute, like, I mean, fear. So as soon as we get to this gate, I go and I bolt it to run to get onto my bus. And she runs after me and she pushes me. And we have all this rubble of slate. You know, slate is really sharp. There's a slate. And I fly in my dress. I rip the whole dress, skid my knees. I still have scars. Skin all my hands. I start bawling. Her brother is there to pick her up from school. And now, in fairness, like, I could have probably said some mean things back in retaliation. Like, I grew up with siblings, so I would have held my own. But
100%.
I wouldn't have been as horrible as this.
Why do I feel like the brother done something a bit mad?
No, like, the brother was like, why'd you do that? I remember seeing him, like, saying, why'd you do that? And she goes, we have to go. So then they go and run to her mom. I run back into the school. She sees me running back into the school. So I go to run back into the school. My best friend at the time, my childhood best friend Declan, tells the bus driver to wait. And I go to the teacher and I say, like, Debbie's after pushing me. You can see blood running on my hands. Her mother, the teacher goes back inside to call my mom, even though she wasn't going to get through to her because my mom works in a place where she can't have her phone. And her mom, like this girl's mom, walks into the school, walks down to me like a 10-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, and starts eating me. I mean, like screaming in my face like I was a child. It was so horrible. The teacher comes out, and this teacher is red, like angry, starts eating the mother back. And then this whole rivalry between me, my mom, her mom, the principals, the teachers, everything is all the time. And then I remember one of the teachers said they're just as bad as each other. But it's like, excuse me, did I ever throw her on the floor? Did I ever do any of those things? No. Like, did my mother come and scream in her face? No. Like, how can you not see the bad guy and all this? Did you hear the voice notes that she left on my motherfucking phone? It was just madness. But like all the time, it was like you'd have, because it's such a small school, I keep saying this, but because it's such a small class and it's only 6 girls, you'd have one good week and one bad week. So like you'd have one week where everyone's friends and everyone's nice and everyone's like happy, and then you'd have another week where you had to, like, the other girls in the class had to pick a side on who they wanted to be friends with and stuff like that. It's just weird, like.
You know what's crazy? You're talking about something which is very, very interesting. Getting invited to birthday parties. Oh God, oh God, oh God,
Man.
oh God. That was the creme de la creme when you were in primary school.
Yeah.
Birthday parties were like, if you don't get invited to a birthday party, you're not liked.
Yeah.
I don't think I was popular, neither do I think I was just like that in the middle. Like, and to me it was like, once I get invited to my people who I call my friends birthday parties, I don't care. Anybody higher than that, that's just extra. You know. But no, birthday parties I think were
birthday parties were lit. Like, I remember there was one girl in my class and she had like a really nice house, and her family were a really nice family. She's a really sweet girl too. Like, you know, when we went to secondary school, most of the people that I went to primary school with went to the same secondary school as me, including this girl.
Yeah.
Now, in saying that, if I see her in the street, it's a smile and a "how are you keeping?" I don't hold anything to that childhood shit. Like, it's just, you know, that's a bad seed that's in someone from a very young age.
100%.
Maybe she shook it. Maybe she's a nice person now. I don't know, but I don't care to know either.
Yeah.
But this other girl, we would all get invited to her birthday party. Nobody would ever be left out, and it was always just the girls that went to it, and it would be a sleepover and stuff. But I remember that, like, even in that situation, you know, like where you go to these parties, it would be cliquey, and you're in primary school. Like, how do small primary school classes form and create these little cliques? Like, how does it work when you're so young?
Maybe it's because what we watched when we were kids. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like I always used to say, you had your Zoe 101s, you had your, that was probably the biggest one for me, Zoe 101. You know, you had all them little American shows, which everyone would have their little clique, and probably maybe that's why people thought like having your own little group of, you know, was cool.
Yeah, like you always had a popular girl. This girl that I'm talking about, she was kind of like the popular one in the class. But she was, they were all nice, you know, like overall now when I get to see them, like one of the girls in my primary school class, she's just had a baby. And she's a nice girl, like she's a really sweet girl. And I did a beauty course with her years later, which is just so strange. Like I spend 6 years in secondary school and I don't know her at all after we've leave primary school, and then we go and do the same PLC course. It's just so weird.
Crazy.
But then you get to re-know them as this more mature kind of transitioning into adulthood person, and you get to know them who they actually are at that point. Really, really nice girl. And it's crazy then to think, oh my God, we're at that baby making stage. Like, we're at that family making stage. What is going on? Like, what is going on in the House of Commons?
And what else? Like, it was just, you know, primary school was actually crazy experience. Like, obviously when I went to primary school obviously earlier than a lot of, when did you graduate? When did you finish
primary school? 2012.
When did I finish primary?
2009.
No, I finished 2009. So yeah, but like it's just, and then like obviously junior infant, senior infant, first class, second class. Second class I think is when the real madness, like the worst of the worst came out. So then everybody was a bit older.
Oh yeah, secondary
I don't
school.
know. I don't know if you had Bebo back in your time.
Bebo had just kind of gone, and
Okay, well,
Facebook had just rose.
Like, so you have to realize when Bebo was like,
Bebo
was the thing. So like,
do you remember that though?
oh god, MSN. I don't
MSN,
know.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, that wasn't my generation, but it
Yeah.
definitely remember it from my siblings.
MSN was a thing. God. Like, you know, I just look back and I was like, what? Like, there was so many cringy stuff I done.
In secondary school?
No, primary school. We'll get to secondary school, because secondary school is a whole different ball game. And that's the funny thing. Like, you look at primary school and you're like, oh, it can't get worse. Oh, trust me, it gets fucking worse. It gets so much worse.
So much worse.
But what else? Like, did you ever have your like I'm gonna call them your little crush in
primary school?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, I mean, I had like two. Like, I had a boy crush and I had a girl crush. Like, when I was younger, like, I didn't. Obviously, everyone grows up in that stigma of boy and girl, but I still, like, I had this like obsession. I had an obsession with boobs when I was younger. There's no way you're not going to be bi when you're older, when you're a 9-year-old who's literally like obsessed with boobs. I was so fucking obsessed with them. So I had a crush on like a girl and all the female teachers, and then a crush on like a boy, but there's only 3 boys in my class, and everyone had the same crush on the same boy.
Yeah, no, I had a crush on like 2 or 3 girls. And it was so cringy, man. The stuff that I used to say or do was just so cringy. I just look back, I'm like, ugh.
You know that, like, oh, let's play Truth or Dare.
Oh,
go kiss behind the green shed or something.
It was a weird experience, and obviously, I feel like 4th, 5th, and 6th class was just a bit calmer, so there wasn't really much going on. But primary school was just it was a trailer for what was gonna come. See, secondary school, Sorka. Secondary school. Oh my god, I don't even know where to start.
If I could wipe secondary school from my memory, I would.
I don't even know where to start.
I
with
would.
that. Like, oh my god, where do you start with secondary school?
Secondary school was the worst time in my entire life, and I thought it was primary school. When I was in secondary school, or first starting secondary school, I thought, thank God I'm free of that. You know, I never, you really do think like, that's it, we're out of the woods now, like we can become grown-ups now, and no
way, no fucking way. Let me just think about first year of secondary school. I remember my first day in secondary school very, very well. It was just so like, when I just stepped into school, in back of my mind, I just knew this is about to go down. It's gonna get crazy. Cause like, we have to realize something is right. Everybody coming to secondary school, you have the people who thought they were popular. You have the people who are very introverted, the extroverts. You have the people who will probably like never been around so many people.
That's me.
You have the people who are like, you have to realize you have your little crush in primary school. Oh boy. You're going to see 7 or 8 of them, 9, 10, 11, 12 of them. And when you get to secondary school, like, everything is just so much more.
And competition for everything.
That's the big thing. The competition to be the best at everything. When we're talking about like who's doing higher level or ordinary level, who's doing foundation level, all these things, all these little things that you don't think people are going to try to get at you for, they're going to try to get at you. Everything. Like, the crazy thing for me, like, 6th year wasn't so bad, 6th and 5th year, but the rate, like, I'm not even just the racism, like, just if you weren't a certain person, the bullying, like, everything is amplified by 10. X10.
And you can actually imagine that, because even when you said like there was only 2 black people in your primary school, like, that indicates to me like
there was only 9.
Look how far, first of all, the country has come in the last 20 years, that in a lot of educate togethers and all those primary schools, even like Catholic primary schools, they're kind of like, a lot of them are half and half, some of them are like, even there's more black kids, or like, people of minority in the class than there is white people and Irish people and all that kind of stuff. It's crazy. But like the fact that there was such a minority in school of people of color, like Asian people, doesn't matter where they were from, because there was so much less of them. The bullying was just amplified by so much.
Yeah.
You can
But, like,
imagine why.
in my primary
make
school,
sense,
in my
but-
secondary school, sorry, there was only like 9. Let me think. I can actually name. Be careful, you're breathing into the mic. I can hear. I said breathing into the mic, and then you go.
I pulled back.
Oh, it's like just what's the word? When you want to talk, but then your breathing is like. I can hear so deeply. It's so funny. But I was doing it as well, so don't worry. But back to what we were saying. Yes, there was about 11 black people in the probably about out of 100 maybe 100
Jesus.
200 maybe people that were in my maybe it was.
Do you want to know how many were in my whole secondary school?
How many?
So let's say there's about 650
Yeah.
in my whole secondary school. When I started secondary school, there was nobody in my year.
Mm-hmm.
There was none in the class above me either. I don't think. No, there's 3 in the class above me, and then probably triplets in the class, 2 classes above me. So in like 4th year when I started first year. So in the whole school, I think there's like 6.
That's crazy.
And then as we went on with time in 6th year, there was
there
so
was
many.
more.
But like when I had started there was nearly
no
no black people
there was
in my
no
school
like
whatsoever.
and the crazy thing is
and no Asian people in my school at all.
No, there was a couple, like there was like a lot of Philippine people came, like were in my school, like they like that's like that there was a lot of Philippines. That they're like the Asian community was actually pretty big in my secondary school. But no, the racism was crazy. The racism, discrimination across like just cliques. If you weren't, like I said, if you weren't the creme de la creme, or you weren't like the popular person, or like you weren't something, like you would get it. You know, like you would, people would really try to fit in. You know, fitting in was the
that
crazy.
was the thing. Like I would have given anything to be what was considered at that time normal. But the problem was that normal changed every year that you came in. You know, everyone wore a different, set of shoes, and everyone had some new jacket that came into trend, and all those things. And the funniest thing is, it's that kind of like, as well as that, there's like this money aspect of like, how much money does your parents have? Do you remember when this is a great one. Superdry. Do you remember when Superdry hit secondary school? Man, everyone was crying out. Everyone was wearing Superdry. Everyone.
So, and there was days I'd walk in Superdry store, and I'd be like, I feel like saying to my mom, can I get this?
She'd laugh in your face.
She would
backhand to the back of the head.
You're not even backhand. She'd just laugh and say, please get out of here. That's all she would say. But no, you're right. Superdry. The Superdry era was ridiculous.
It was
crazy.
real.
Like, if you didn't have Superdry,
don't come to school.
You're not that one.
Don't come to school.
You're not that one. You're just.
No.
You're not that. You are.
Do you know what I remember? At the end of the year, like we had clothing racks and bag racks and stuff in school, and people would always leave their jackets, always leave their jumpers, always leave loads of stuff. So just before exams started, for like 3 days or something, they would have these, like, we had an open area. Did you have an open area in your school?
In what sense?
Like an open access. It's just like just a big open room where there's like tables and benches and stuff.
A canteen would kind of be like that.
Our canteen, we had a canteen and we had like this open access area. But the open access would just have like loads of tables pushed together, and like all like hundreds of jackets put on it, and people were supposed to come and claim their lost and found. But we used to go around. That was my summer shopping. Just Superdry jackets. Me and Leisha both I found a black one with purple, and I think she had one with pink on it or something. We both found Superdry jackets. But at that point it's gone out of trend. So it's like, what are you wearing it for now? Like, it doesn't matter.
What else was it? What else was a trend back then? I'm just trying to think. What else was
in my school? Luckily I had my sister who would which meant that I kind of had a jump start on this. But we had these skinny trousers. So like the girls had these like skinny flared trousers that like made your bum look good because they kind of went up your bum. But you know those ugly slacks you get in Duns or Pennies or something. That's where all the like the first years would come in with their ugly slacks and stuff, and then the girls in the school would all be wearing these like flattering flared trousers. That was a big trend in my school. Dubarrys were like a thing too, like, but you had to have money for Dubarrys because they're like €130. What else? I can't think of much else.
What's that? No, sorry, I thought I was hearing a weird sound, but don't mind me.
It was a squeaking noise. I heard a squeaking.
No, it's gone now. Interesting. But yeah, like the popularity. And you know when you look back on it, like okay, you look at the whole situation and you just think about it, you're just like, what the fuck happened there? You know, it was mental.
Do you ever look at the popular people and look at where they are now?
If I speak.
In saying that, I skipped TY. Did you do TY?
I didn't do TY.
I skipped TY and I went into a different year, which was already a challenge in itself. But I hated school. I just wanted to get the fuck out. Like I did my leaving cert at 16, Abidemi. 16. Like I was a baby. I don't
remember when I done my leaving cert. I don't even remember when I done my leaving cert. I don't know.
You did yours in 2015?
I graduated in 2014, so I did my leaving cert in about when I was 17, turning 18.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I remember like I was in the popular girls. So like during school they were really popular. But in fairness to most of them, they've all gone on to be like really successful girls. Gone to Trinity, gone to like Limerick, Limerick University, gone to Galway University, gone to the what do you call that? That art college. And like BIM and stuff,
I
like
don't know.
music college. Like they've all gone to like really prestige places and gotten their degrees and stuff.
Well, when we move on a bit more, I'm gonna say something, and then you understand. So don't worry. But the one thing I think that I found crazy was the teachers. Like I don't know how the teachers were in your school, but our school they were. You know, I was thinking about how I was going to explain the teachers in our school, in my secondary school. And the best word I used for it is they were a cult. They were actually a cult. I feel like they would actually go into their meeting room or whatever, wherever the teacher staff room is, and they would bitch about.
Oh, yeah.
They'd bitch about. And I feel like some of them would be like, let's give him hell today. Let's give him or her hell today. Like, this kid, let's give them hell today. Now, I'd say that I had some lovely teachers. I had my accounting teacher. He was a legend. I had my business teacher, Miss McAteer, biggest legend ever. Miss McDarby, another legend. Like, those three teachers were absolute legends. There's teachers I really despised as well. Like, there's teachers I just know that just did not like me. And I was just like, look, let's do this. It is what it is. But there's actually, like, I've experienced it, but there was actually teachers who genuinely just picked on students.
Oh, yeah.
And
it's so weird, though, when you're older and you look back and you're like, what were they at?
Like, it's like,
embarrassing.
But you see, the thing is now, everybody's kind of growing up more, so people kind of know a bit. You can't talk to me anyhow, bro. You know, back then, it's like, they could talk to you anyhow because they could get away with it.
They were in their mid-stage between, like, just after getting out of the whole caning thing, like, where you fucking, the caning?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they had, like, obviously that was a while ago that stopped, but still that mentality of that hierarchy, superiority, I'm your teacher, so I can say or do whatever the fuck I want.
That's the problem. It's not I can say or do whatever I want, but they don't think they have that much power anymore. Like, obviously they do have power. Your teacher's a teacher at the end of the day. Like, you have to remember, you owe them a bit of respect. But they were villains. Like, I know there was there was three in particular. I knew they had it out for me and a few other people. Like, any little thing we do, get out of the class. Someone do the same thing. Oh, don't worry. Just don't do that again. It's like,
yeah.
It's like, how does this person get away with it, but this person doesn't? How are these people always getting suspended for doing these certain things, but this person isn't? And then, like, the older we got and the more we experienced it, the more we'd be like, and that's when, like, the more people would be like, "You're being racist to me." Like,
You know who always got away with shit in our school? Oh yeah, that's so true.
I know there's a lot of teachers that were racist, and
yeah, that's so
and
true.
let me not even use racist. They were very racism is one thing, discriminating to certain people, like, and I mean discriminating to. You have to remember, I'm from Dublin. Like, I'm not from where I'm from doesn't have the best name in the whole world. So obviously, like, they would kind of know where certain people are from and pick on them for a certain reason.
Because of where they were
From like not just that, like people from the what you would call there's a word for it. There's a specific term that they use. There's like an educational term they use. I forget what it is. It's like a certain area, like people that are from certain areas. They would obviously compare to the people who are from like the posh,
well, like just like people who might have come from council estates and stuff like that.
Basically, stuff like that. Not just council estates, but people's surnames. Like people like who they are. Like they pick on specific people, and then they try to play the whole guilt trip card of being like, no, what was the one thing they always said? Like, I think it was more my parent teacher meeting. Oh my god, that's flashbacks. Parent teacher meetings.
My mom used to go sometimes. But
parent teacher meetings were the worst thing ever. Because you know what they used to be like? Your teacher dickhead would be like, you can do so much better, if you done this and that and this. I'm just like, will you shut the fuck up? Like,
did you have to sit in on your parent teacher meeting?
Yeah, some of them, yeah.
What?
Yeah, be right there. I know the thing is, yeah, you I'm not gonna lie, that you sit there and there's the teacher that you hate, and you're just like, this guy could finish me today if he really wanted to. Some of them would say that, like, he's always messing, like he doesn't listen, like he's always causing trouble, and it's just like, no, I'm not. Like,
I just didn't care at all, man. Like, no matter what, my mom came out with whatever information that they would have given her, if she went or if she didn't. Sometimes Nessa went in place because she was working, but like, I never cared what the teachers had to say about me, and the teachers I really liked never had a bad word. Or like my music teacher, was like, she's from Athlone actually, and she was just an angel. Like, I had really bad anxiety in secondary school, so that was like panic attacks on panic attacks. But the kind of panic attacks where I genuinely felt like I couldn't breathe and I would burst all the blood vessels in my face. So like, it was just atrocious. So anytime I had that, I would just go to her room and she would just let me go and sit outside her room for a little while and come out and check on me. And like, she's just so nice. But I know going into that, that little conversation, she's going to speak the world of me. She'll say, yeah, Circa could definitely focus more on school, but I think she has a lot going on right now. So she would understand that, there's obviously a reason I'm not studious. There's obviously a reason why I can't, commit myself to whatever work or whatever there might be. But then there's the other teachers that just genuinely don't give a fuck. Like, I remember being brought to the principal's office so much. Like, I used to give so much cheek to my teachers because I couldn't give a fuck what they were saying to me. Like, I remember being told to quiet down. I would stand up and say, who are you telling to shut up? Like, I'm not fucking shutting up. Like, and then I just walk out of the class, grab my bag, and they'd say, go up to the principal's office. I'm like, yeah, I'll go up to the principal's office, no problem. I walk up to the principal's office. I go to the attractor who actually comes into the shop. Probably shouldn't have said her name, but anyways, she's lovely. She's the secretary. I used to go to her and say, oh, I have to go to an appointment. And she'd be like, are your parents signing you out, Circa? And I'm like, oh, I'll give a note in tomorrow. Like, I have to go to this appointment. Like, it's last minute. So then I get my sister to text real sneaky or to call real sneaky and be like, Nessa, I'm leaving school right now. Whether I have your permission or not, I'm leaving school right now. So it's in your best interest to sign me out. Otherwise, we're all fucked. So Nessa would always call and say, yeah, I'm going to pick Circa up. And she would. But like, I didn't give a fuck no matter what happened. And if they tried to argue back with me or bite back with me, it would just end up worse for both of us because I was also really articulate. So if I'm sitting in front of the principal, I'm arguing my case and saying, yeah, well, do you know what she did? Do you know what she said to this person last week? So this is your teacher. This is somebody that you've employed to do this. And this is how they're treating people. This is how they're speaking to people. And they want to bring me in here in front of you and reprimand me for my behaviour. What about their behaviour? What's their disciplinary action? I was such a menace. I was a cunt to deal with. Sorry. I hate that word. But I was.
I remember there was one situation, right? Because, funny situation. Do you remember these like little white books we had to read? I don't know if you ever had them. They're these little white books. They're like singular pages. I don't know what they're called, but it is like they're like these little white cards. And I don't know what they were. They're like little books, and we had to read them. Obviously, when I put stuff, I put them close to my face. some reason these teachers kept telling me to put it down on the table. I was like, no, I want to read it. I'm putting it close to my face. Like, what's the big deal? And then it was like, no, put it on the table. I'm like, I'm not gonna. And he wanted, like, it was weird. Like, he wanted to put it on the table. I was like, I just want to read it, put close to my face, like, you know. It was just so weird. And he was like, and he kept going back and forth. Like, I was like, it's just a piece of fucking cardboard with a few words on it. Like, I want to read it. I want to put it close to my face, like, because I used to put so close to my face, like, to read. So I was saying I needed glasses. Long story short, kept going back and forth saying the same thing. And he goes, get out of class, go to the principal's office. Grand. Went to the principal's office. No one came. Went to all my classes. Blah, blah, blah. In geography class, I'll never forget. Someone called, I think the assistant principal, what do they call it again? The assistant deputy principal?
Deputy, yeah.
The deputy knock on me door and I was like, oh, can I speak to them, please? And he goes, can you bring your bag and everything? I was like, oh gosh.
Vice principal.
Shit's about to go down. Sitting there.
Shit's about to go down.
My mom is there. And my mom, like, I used to get in trouble. Like, I got suspended twice in school. Like, this is when I got suspended. Long story short, came in. Was like, what happened between you and Mr. So-so-and-so? I was like, explain to him. I couldn't read something. I want to put it close to my face. And then he started making a big deal out of it. Like, come on. Are you being serious? Like, why am I here? My mom's kind of that person. Like, obviously my mom, the older, like, I got, the more I think my mom started understanding, like, okay, some of these teachers are actually just out here to pick on students. And so I was like, I just couldn't read something. They were like, yeah, but you're making a scene. I was like, I'm not making a scene, because if I put it down and he asks me a question, I say I can't read it, he'll say, why aren't you reading it? I like, why is it a big, I was like basically saying, why is it a big deal that I just want to pick a book up, which he gave everybody in the class, and I want to just read it that way? So we kept going back and forth. Also, my mom kind of was like, yeah, why is it such a big deal? Like, he just wanted to read the thing. And obviously me and this teacher did not like each other. One bit whatsoever. I used to never.
You probably had such a I don't give a fuck attitude in secondary school, did you?
Yeah, it was very like, I know what I'm here to do, and I just want to get out of here as fast as I possibly can. So obviously, me and him were going back. My mom was kind of like, okay, what is this about? Like, my mom was kind of confused because yeah. So obviously, then he goes, sorry, we have to suspend you for half the day. And my mom was kind of, and I was kind of like, why? Like, fair enough, you know, you're saying suspended, but this one pierced me off because I'm like, is this really because of one person? Now, thank God I got moved out of his class at the end of the day. But now this guy, like, he was, I'm going to say straight, like, he was a very odd person. Like, I heard some very strong allegations about him after when I left, and I heard about some very serious shit that happened, and I believe they don't want to say he got forced into early retirement. Because, you know, you have to realize, like I said, these teachers were low-key cult. Like, they have to back their own, you know. So they would do anything to make themselves not look bad. You know, they'd rather the students look bad than them. Keep this reputation of, we have a really good school, even though, like, people from bad areas are here, we can. But yeah, that was a bit of a mess. That was when I was in when I was like first 3 years. Yeah, and then, you know, I don't know if we had like grey jumpers and black jumpers. I don't know if he's had different colored jumpers. So first, second, third years were grey jumpers, and then fourth, fifth, and sixth years were black jumpers. And when you were a grey jumper, oh god, you got bullied by those black jumpers. You got bullied by them black jumpers really bad. Like, I know stories of people getting thrown bins.
Oh yeah.
Like, so again, you know, I'm not even gonna get into too much, but like, we were, like, when I tell you we were they were menaces in our school. So they used to bring in blades, right? Blades, and they would, like, so they would cut
people's
bags and cut their straps off, and cut everything. Like, I remember there was a time they got thumbtacks, sticking on people's chairs, and like people say,
holy fuck.
And the worst
what primary school did you go, or secondary school did you go to?
Whoever knows. The worst one was they got in art like these pins, and they would go around like stabbing.
Actually, I feel like that happened in my secondary
They go
school
around
too.
stabbing people. What else was there? I think there was one story. The guy bring like a taser, and like he tased the lockers, and like shocked people while they were opening them. Like what else?
What the fuck? Evidently.
I'm trying to think.
I remember one time these boys put a fish from like the
You
supermarket
told me this.
into a fucking locker, and it
Oh
was there for the
god.
whole morning until like the middle of the day. Whole corridor stinks of fish. Everyone's holding their nose. I don't know if anyone got in trouble for that, but it was rotten. I remember one time we had these really old lockers. We had some that were like wood, some that were metal, and some that were really old metal. But they knocked the shelves in 3 of the lockers. And like, you know, the locker doors, they're all like cohesive, so they're like, you know, between each door is the shelf. So like the doors, if there's no shelves there, it's just all one open thing.
Yeah.
And the doors just open separately. But they locked someone in the locker after knocking all the shelves out of it. It's awful. What else did they do? The bins was a very normal thing, putting people into bins. Did you ever do like pranks to your teachers, like wrap their cars in anything, like, you know what I mean?
Nah, like I told you, like I said, this was a cult versus like these people. Like you,
It was like teachers versus students.
this is our school was literally teachers versus students.
Mm.
Like I mean this when I tell you. So there was after our year, the last few menaces were left. So when I graduated, where all people graduated in 2015, were the last of the menaces. Like we were bad. It's like like
My year was really
we like we would be throwing chairs and tables at each other. Like and like I don't think you sometimes realize. I know I'm saying this like very like funny, but I mean like you have to realize 13, 12, 14-year-olds milling chairs, tables, fucking stuff around.
Have you ever seen St. Trinian's? That's what your primary school or your secondary school
Oh
sounds like.
no, I know what it is, but it was worse than that. Like I'm trying to think. There was something. So we used to have this thing. Yeah. Oh, this was the fun. Anybody who went to where I went to understand. So when we were like, we're obviously still menaces in like 5th or 6th year. We turn off the lights in the corridor, right? We had this thing called the double. Okay. So what this double, okay, this thing was evil. Okay, I'm telling you, come on. Oh, sorry, I bait it out there. But our second, like, we turn off the lights in the corridor, right? And then like everybody would be like standing against the wall, and like, people who at the start, people didn't know what was going on, but you know what was going on, you know what was going on. So obviously, like everybody would be like, "Oh shit, here we go again." But what double is basically, you get someone by the shoulders,
and you fucked them around the corridor.
No, that's even nice. Fucking around the corridor, two thing. You get them around the shoulder, but you kick their 2 legs. So you pull them down and kick their 2 legs, and they go bam, very straight on the ground. So this was the thing we used to do. Oh, sorry, it was bad. I know I seen people's phones, watches get smashed. Like it was bad. And then like for us, we had this thing like secondary school. I'm just trying to tell you, like, I'm trying to summarize. I think when you got our haircut was the worst. Oh, sorry.
Smacks in the back of the head.
Oh no, sorry, we were menaces. Oh nah, and that's sweet.
I like your cut, G.
That's the thing.
I like your cut, G.
But no, I think you know all. If you understand all those crazy stories,
I can't remember much. Like I feel like maybe it's because I hated. Like but I mean, I can't put it into words to you enough how much I hated secondary school. Like I definitely was one of those people. You know the way like some people thrive after secondary school,
Yeah.
and then some people have their prime years in secondary school.
yeah.
I've definitely thrived after secondary school. Like I made great success for myself and stuff. And got into like a really good job without going to 3rd level college, like proper college. I did a PhD, but I never went to proper college. But like I could not fucking wait to get out of school. I got a job early just in the hopes that my mom would let me not do my leaving cert, and just, you know, I was working and self-sufficient and able to earn my own money. Didn't work. She made me do it. But the only reason I stayed probably in secondary school was because I got into a relationship at the time, and it felt like, you know, go to school and get to see my boyfriend every day, that kind of thing.
That was
Still mitch all the classes. Like I mitched so much school. My attendance record for 5th year was like on the floor. Like I'd say I probably went a solid 100 days. Like, and you know, that's I mean full days. Like then like a lot of them would have been half days. Not like I would have been missing like 200 days of the year.
Oh, relationship.
But it's crazy. Relationships, yeah, relationships in secondary school are mad. My relationship in secondary school started 16. I was in the beginning of 6th year, and it lasted for 3 years. Imagine, but like it just shows the immaturity when you get into a relationship. Like I don't know how people would ever maintain and continue a relationship that started in secondary school.
Had one that last the end. It called quit.
Yeah.
That's I don't really talk about that. That's
Yeah, I've never talked about my ex.
it is what it is. Let me just put it that
I
way.
actually never like I think for like a good year after that relationship ended, he was kind of all I talked about because I was so like dumbfounded and it was my only serious relationship and stuff. But I never even think of the guy anymore. Like
Yeah,
you know,
that's realized like when that was like for me that was good, and I'm talking about that's a whole decade. Imagine that's for me a whole decade. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like when I actually think about it, that's 10 years ago. Like when all that happened. But no, moving on for that. Now like, but the only weird thing I like I'm not like this is weird, right? And I don't know if I'm speaking for I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm speaking for certain people. It was weird though that to think like all the black people in school would really only go for white girls for some weird reason. I don't know what it was. And I'm not gonna speak about this for myself. Like it was I don't know what it was. It was just very weird. And like when I grow up now and I think about it, I'm like, what was it that made us
do you ever
feel
think
that?
like it's that kind of like that pressure of feeling like you have to conform? So the closest thing
Yeah,
to that
I
is
feel like
just getting into a relationship with a white girl.
I feel like that was a thing. I think
Also, there's such huge stigma around black women.
that especially when we were in oh Jesus Christ. Oh no, it was bad. Like when we were in secondary school, that was one thing which was bad, and I think that's what like why a lot. I don't think that any black guys hated or had this thing against. Now this is bad. Now this is one part I want to talk about. I don't think any black guys really actually hated any black girls. I think it was just because most of us when I was back in school, our friends were white, so white was the main thing that we knew, and then like obviously they would put the whole stigmas around black girls like of what they see or what they've been told and what they know. So obviously that would be what a lot
You
of us
internalize it.
would have to go with to fit in. And that was the problem. We did a
Get
lot
ya,
to
yeah.
we did a lot to fit in.
Yeah.
Which was when you look back at it, I was like, what the fuck were we doing? Like, you know, when you it's just but the thing as well like is you had to you didn't have to like at the end of the day the older you get, the more you realize that you're your own person and you have your own responsibilities. A lot of the things we did, I believe we thought we had to do. Like, you know, nothing against who my girlfriend was back then, nothing against anybody else, but like what I'm basically trying to say is that a lot of the things that a lot of people I saw doing was just to fit.
That's all secondary school is about.
Just to fit
like
in.
I think that like I was a idiot in secondary school. I was such a fool. I would have lied to get like people to like me. I would have pretended I was interested in things that I wasn't interested in. Like so much stuff. Like just unnecessary things. Like I'd say a lot of people from secondary school have terrible opinions of me from back then because of how much of an idiot I was or how much of a fool I was to do whatever I could to get some sense of attention or some sense of like friends or normality. Like I could not keep friends through growing up. Like I could not keep friends. I could make friends very quickly, very easily. I'm a chatty person, but I couldn't keep a friendship because like after you like I would have like mirrored people and become kind of the person that I was friends with at that time, and that wall kind of comes down after a while. So you can't maintain that. You can't upkeep that image that you've set of yourself in people's eyes. Then all of a sudden they don't want to be friends with you anymore and shit like that. It's madness. Like I actually detest the person I wasn't. I don't hate her because like she's a big reason why I am this way now today. But I definitely detest my actions and like I question so many of them. Like why?
But
And
I'd say a lot.
embarrassing.
I'd say a lot of people would do the same. Like they
Yeah.
probably look back and be like, "Why the fuck was I like that?" Like, you know. By the end of the day, it's just all about growing. It's we're growing up. Like And a lot of us, that's like when the start of the whole social media thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, who has the most followers, who gets the most likes, who gets the most happy birthdays, who, it was like that, like all that now, I say, when we all look back. Two shit.
Oh, when my fucking Facebook, I only have Facebook for my family. But when I downloaded Facebook again and like I looked at the memories that pop up. Like for HO. SPs and mail.
I saw some of them, like, let me be honest with you. Anything that is 2000 and embarrassing is deleted.
I've deleted all of them. As they come up, I'm like, goodbye.
So
never to be seen again.
Any pictures that I see that I don't like, delete. Any person that I saw my memories that I know I don't talk to, remove. Delete. I just look at myself, I'm like, what? I genuinely look at myself, like, what was I doing? Why? I think, what was going through my brain for me to even think about anything that was happening here right now? What? I just don't know.
Do you know, as a girl, do you know what killed me? The sperm eyebrows. I used to draw my eyebrows on, yeah. But so uneven. Like, I would spend hours on these fucking puppies. I would spend hours.
The haircuts some of us had.
Yeah, that was one thing. One thing for guys I will always say is a haircut makes a difference. It's the only way a guy can present himself is how good his haircut is. So you put your whole heart and soul in your barber. Like, you put your faith in that man, that when you walk out that door, you're going to be walking in school on Monday morning and everybody be saying, nice cut, like, that's a very nice trim or something. Or else you look bummy as fuck. It's literally no in between. You either look shit or you look great.
Yeah.
For girls, it's like doing makeup and shit. Why did I do that?
You know what I think though? Like, so obviously, there was the bullying, there was the craziness, there was the cult of teachers. I think the last year, I'm talking about the last couple of weeks before, like, the 6th year. I think the half last the 6th year, where I'm speaking, I think people started realizing life's about to get real. I think everyone, I don't know about you, but I think everyone kind of calmed down, was becoming more cooler with each other. Life is about to
definitely a lot of the drama subsided.
The drama definitely subsided. Like, if there was drama, it was more, I think, more relationship drama.
Yeah.
That was the thing back then.
Actually, that's another funny thing, is that in 6th year, that is like relationship year. Like, everyone's in relationships that year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Debs is coming up. You have to remember that too. Do you remember Debs? Fucking hell.
Oh, God. I don't even want to.
And the grad and all that.
Oh, the grad. Shit. Oh, God. The grad. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Whenever when I'm talking about this now, there's a lot of things coming back to my mind. I'm just like,
I still there. I just don't remember much. Like, I remember all the teachers I gave a really hard time to.
No, all teachers I gave a hard time to. If you ever see this, I'm happy I gave you a hard time, and again, I will still give you a hard time till today, because there's a specific ones. There is specific ones. Nah, me and you. I'm not gonna say I hold a grudge against you, but if you say hi to me, I'm just gonna air you. It's just gonna be like side eye,
bombastic side eye,
big eye. But see, my Miss McDarby, Mr. Ward, my PE teacher, Miss McIntyre, my accounting teacher, whoever I forget his name. If I see them, I'll have a conversation.
Do you know who are the real ones? Do you know the teachers that were the real ones? The ones that went to eat lunch in their car. The ones that left the canteen or left the staff room.
Those were the ones that avoided drama.
Yeah.
That's how I tell you.
They were the real ones.
That's why I tell you, the ones that were in that staff room every day, any opportunity they have, they were the drama. They were the king and queen of drama.
I think even teachers in school are very cliquey.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Crazy.
And like, obviously they can't show it, but you see it.
Oh yeah, you see the two that are walking down the corridors together every single day on the way to the lunchroom together. Or the ones that are going to sneak out to the car to have lunch in the car together because they don't want to hear the shit that everyone else is spewing. Or do you know what I used to find so funny? Like, during class, like, sometimes the teacher would get pulled out of class. And you just know that you can see those two teachers and they're just gossiping about something that just happened.
Do you ever see a teacher get in trouble, though? No. I'd see it once.
Our school, like, I have to say, as much like as I'm saying, like, I hated school and making it seem like a shit place, the school I went to, a very academically, very academically good school. Like, everyone was always high achievers. Like, there was good points always came out. Sports and stuff was great.
Like, high sports was good. Like, at the end of the day, like, and
if you were in the sports, I was going to say this to you earlier, If you were somebody who did sports in school, it was like that. It's like, why does he get, just a slap on the wrist, and why is that guy getting sent to the principal's office for when that guy did something worse? Oh, it's because he's on football, or it's because he's on the basketball team or something like that.
With me personally, it was just I was the fastest person in the whole school for sports. I remember, this is one funny story though I would never forget is I remember when obviously when I came from primary school, I was the fastest person in the primary school. So obviously I remember running all the time, always won the races. I tried that shit in secondary school. And that's when I remember people that are older than me, stronger than me. And I got smoked. Obviously, the older I got, I think it was it third or fifth year? Was it a third or fifth year? Third year, I think it was. I had to race one person who was crowned. He was the king. He was the one that was beating everybody. He was the I never forget
The
this.
alpha.
He was the alpha, and I was the
Beta.
not the beta, alpha. He was the alpha, but I was like the young blood. I was like the the one that he's quick, but is he quicker than this guy bet me once? So I was like, okay. Made myself a promise. I was like, before you leave this school, I'm gonna beat you in a race, and then you're never gonna beat me again. Never get that day. I think I was finishing school, and I never got pure pressured into things. Like everybody knew I was quick, but there was like, for us it was like, oh, are you really that fast? Though why don't you race him if you're fast? If you know you're fast, you beat him in a race. And I was like,
if you're bad, you'll do it.
Basically, there was one day I was finished school, and then this guy, it was just me. It was a couple of us, and then he was there. And he's like, "Oh, race me." I was like, "Oh no." He's like, "Oh, why?" I'll beat you. Okay, calm. And we used to have we had 100-meter. We had a gravel patch of 100 meters, which the teachers had measured out. Grand. And I remember everybody, and I can still kind of feel nervous saying the story because everybody was like, "Who's gonna win?" And then one only person had faith in me and everybody else. Obviously, this guy was the king. He was beating everybody. I'll never forget that day. And then I absolutely phew. And he's like, "No, you have to do that again." I was like, "No, once I beat you, that's it. I don't need to race anybody again." I proved myself. Santry for us was a big thing. That was one big thing when it came to sports. Santry was that one event in the year. Oh god, I don't know. I don't know if you've ever done these athletics. Basically, our athletics was one of the biggest things. Oh god. So okay, anybody who knows Santry was the thing. And when I went, so I wasn't the king. Was I the king of Santry? I was king of Santry for 1 year. My last year in college, my last year in secondary school, I was king of Santry. Second year, fifth year, I was, well, I was king in. I was the king in. I don't say I was the king. I was I was ridiculously quick. And the one thing I always regret in life is never taking athletics serious. It's the one thing I always want to take football serious because everybody wants to be a footballer. Everybody thought they were good. I could run. And I never forget that last year. There was another guy again could never be beaten. I said to myself, I'm gonna beat this guy badly. And the one thing I loved about that is that when I was leaving,
that's healthy, friendly competition.
Yeah, very healthy. When I was leaving secondary school, the one thing I loved is that I learned a lot more about healthy competition, which was a very, very good thing. But look, secondary school was a movie itself, and it did shape us. But what's the crazy thing was the amount of people that had babies after
or during.
No one had during. No one in my year actually had during.
Nobody in my year was pregnant, but I remember girls in my school getting pregnant.
A lot was after.
And I remember the year after. And now, God, I feel like a epidemic. I want children. I want kids, and probably I would like them young. I wouldn't mind having a baby around this age either, because my friends, really close friends, do have kids. So it's not abnormal to me. I wouldn't be the first friend in the friends group to have kids, but so many people that I went to school with now are popping out with babies, or so many people that I went to my course with. Out of my course, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 2 women were older. There was 20 people in the whole course. Just 2 women were older. 4 people dropped out, and the 2 older women, one of them already had kids, and 6 of them that I know of have had children in the last 2 years, 3 years.
I can't count off
It's insane. But that's a course of 20 people.
I can't count off my hand the amount of people that have had kids. That's what I'm being
Not
honest.
even 20. Like that's 16 people and 6 of them. So like that's still a lot, you know.
And
It's madness.
so, obviously, graduating, finishing secondary school.
Then you get to college.
See, college, yeah. I believe my experience in college didn't start because what happened with me in college is that I went to ITB back then, and I left because I didn't like my course. Then I came to Athlone.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, back then, Susie was your lifesaver, and I
Mhm.
couldn't get Susie because I already got Susie in
ITB.
ITB, and I dropped out. So obviously, I had to do a repeat year. Thank God, one of my mom's friends let me live with her for a year. Obviously, going back and forth, I can get a house up here. My college experience realistically did not start till second year, if you want to call it second year, because that's when I started living up there.
Mhm. Living in your college town is like detrimental to
So
the college experience.
darker, nah, it's a different life when you go to see. Yeah, when I first went to college in ITB, it was just kind of like, oh, it's cool. You get all your free stuff. People are coming in, making you set up bank accounts with these certain people. But no, it's until you live around there. You have to realize it. The thing about it is, ITB isn't really a college town because like if you're renting a house, you're renting like someone's house. It's not like here you have Willow Park where from September to September to May, it's gonna be full of students. It's like so even if you lived around it, it wouldn't be the college experience.
Mhm.
When you are actually in the college
I know.
town where there's people always parties all the time.
Don't talk
Second,
to me about parties, man. I
see,
literally just moved out of a 7 people house and it was called the House Party House of Willow. I would be up to work at 6:30 in the morning and the party would still be going on in my living room, which is attached to my bedroom wall. Like, it's on like menacing. Like, it's just an insane experience.
we talked about the drama in secondary school getting amplified. The drama in college when you're living in there
All
is
I'm going to say is add sex to the mix with the same level of immaturity, and that is dangerous. It's dangerous because why now is she sleeping with his boyfriend and he's sleeping with hers and da da da. Da.
and like that's what I'm trying to say to you. The drama is amplified by 20 now because you're getting everybody understands feelings more. Everybody understands everything so much more. People have like social media has now really have impact people's life. Cheating is a thing because cheating back in secondary school is just like it is what it is. That's life. But cheating now is you can get decked. There's people will expose you. People will do all these sorts of things to come at you. Like when you realize like I don't think you can't until you experience it yourself. You will realize like this trailer, when they give you first trailer, that's primary school. They give you a snippet in secondary school. You get the full movie when you get into college. And then if you want extras, live in the college town. Live there. No, but like it's just
Do you know what's mad? What I think is that like college is the one place where you can be built up onto this pedestal and knocked off it in one night, one foul swoop.
Oh my god!
And you will be knocked to your knees, and you will be nothing.
It's college. This is the motto. It will shock you.
It was.
It will shock you. Listen to me when I say this. If you think you're bad, come to college. Like she said, get built on that pedestal. It will shock you how quickly they'll take you off.
And it's so funny as well because the people who kind of put those people up on that pedestal, they kind of still stay under the radar, don't they? Like they still kind of just brisk by and they stay under the surface level and they kind of bob up for air every now and again.
You know what I say to you, yeah, is the people that put you on that pedestal that can take you as quickly. Oh Jesus!
Take you off it as quickly.
Take you off it as quick, and it will shock you because when people see the thing is, when people see you have power, they want a bit of that power too, and they'll do a lot of things to take you off.
Oh, friends in college as well. Like nobody's your friend, man. Nobody is your friend.
I think
like they're your friend. Like see, the thing is, you know this. I obviously moved here and I didn't go to college in the place the college place, but I was in and around it so much in the beginning. You know what I mean? And like I was part of the culture of college without the classes. So like while everyone else was in classes, I was in the student union just chilling out with all the people playing pool and doing whatever.
Jobless.
I was, for a fact, I was working as a healthcare assistant at that time. I was working, putting in 40 hours a week and then just coming to spend my free time in a fucking SU, like.
Job. Less.
Fuck you, Amplification.
But
I had more money than any of those fuckers in that SU.
Because we all survived on Susie, man. Let's not.
Yeah. Do you know, this is another thing. Drug culture in college is
oh my God.
Mad. It's crazy, isn't it?
You know, thank God I never ever, like, I'm that person. Whether you want to believe me or not, people know me. I never touched drugs in my life. I've never did in college. I just never seen, and nothing against anybody that does it. I just never see what it's about. Because obviously back then I was still a big sports freak, and I was just still.
It's funny though, because you talk about all this, like, obviously I know you for quite a while now. Like, what is it, 3 years?
I don't know, longer, not too long.
You're telling me. But you like never would have struck me, even now, like hearing all this stories about you in secondary school, you never would have struck me as somebody who would have been a menace or would have like acted out or anything like that, because you're always just the chill, laid back guy. You're funny. Like, you're the guy that walks into the SU with a massive smile on his face.
You know what I hate?
Taking the piss out of everyone.
You know one thing I hate about college, Circa? One thing I hate it this day. And if there's one piece of advice I have for anybody that's going to college, don't get involved in people's business. Don't try to help anybody. Let people suffer. I'm not. Well, no, let me retract my statement there for 1 minute. Dramatically, any drama, and people are trying to complain about drama, let them suffer. Mentally, always help your friends. Mental health wise, but anything to do with drama, boy trouble, girl trouble, any type of drug trouble, any trouble that will get them in trouble, it is not your trouble. This is the most famous saying a friend of mine. Well, she actually isn't a friend of mine. She's a friend of mine, but
I know exactly what you're gonna
this saying was the best saying I've ever heard in my life. And let me say it like this: don't take paracetamol for somebody else's headache. I'm telling you, I wish every time I wanted to take paracetamol for someone else's headache, it came to me. Because when I was taking, it wasn't taking away my own headache.
You were a fixer, Abademi. Like, you were.
You know what the thing is, yeah?
No.
But you know what? Let me explain this to you, yeah. The reason why I was like that is because I hate noise in my house. And when people make noise, it gives me a headache.
No, because sometimes this noise would not be happening in your house. It'd be happening 3 lines down the back of Willow, and you are still a fixer.
Yeah,
like, you're still.
That's what I'm trying to say. I don't like being a fixer. Don't be a fixer.
Yeah.
Just mind your own business, because at the end of the day, people will not listen, and it's gonna backfire in your face.
People
will not listen.
Are crazy.
Again,
and you know the funny thing, you'll say, "Don't put your hand in the fire." But honestly, remember, you watched Sally put her hand in the fire last week. Like, man, don't do that. Like, you don't want to get burned. Don't touch that fucking fire.
Listen.
And then you know what? You'll watch that same friend go.
Listen, I'm going to say this once and once only. The saying that I should have listened to is, don't take paracetamol for somebody else's headache. It is not your headache. I promise you, people that are going to college for the first year, this the best thing I can say to you. Don't, because I promise you, the minute you do it once, hey, you'll be addicted.
Drama is addicting.
Oh yeah.
When you like succumb to that like kind of environments, and you become like product of that environment, you revel in the drama. Like, you're like, what happened? What she say? What that bitch say?
But
tell me more.
It's until I feel like it's until you graduate and you leave. I'm not even gonna lie when I say this. Drama is a bit exciting. It's something to talk about. Like, it's something to be like, it's a bit of a debate. It's like, who's wrong, who's right. And then obviously then you're just, when I left all that, I moved here, I was just like,
yeah.
Obviously now, when there's certain drama that would come, and I'd be like, now you are like, it would kind of be like, okay, your trouble is now spilling out to everybody. Such a shit, I will fuck off. Do you get me? Type shit. Obviously, we've had that situation already when someone was trying to do the rubbish. I was like, look, such a shit, I will go away. You know what? See, look there's even paracetamol there again. But no, but that's the one thing, and I think drama in college is just
when you get out of it, when you get to this stage now, like I know obviously now in another 10 years time we're going to be saying, oh my god, imagine your 20s, like you do this, and we'll critique everything we did now in this stage of life. But when you get out of college and you think back to that first year mindset, that gossip, that drama, that the creating drama and stepping back. Do you know how many people I watched actually curate drama, whisper Chinese whispers to one person, and then I would actually, you know who I'm talking about, would actually watch them talk to another person in the same story and tell them a completely different version of the story, and then sit back and watch the biggest drama unfold ever. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. And then you wonder, why are you, like, what do you get from it? Like, where do you benefit from this story? Is it enjoyment? Is it a thrill?
Okay, let's put ourselves in those people's position for a minute, right? And let's look at it like this. I get why they do it. It's a craving for them. You know, it's like, there's no drama. Let me try start something. Mm-hmm. And like, I think some people, genuinely speaking, start drama unintentionally. The people that did start intentionally, but some people that would start drama unintentionally, because I think subconsciously, they probably be like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. Let's make something go on. Mm-hmm. You know, let's create something.
Or do you remember that thing that happened? And then they like reignite the flame inside
someone.
Do
you know, it's like, I feel like if I was her, I wouldn't have that. No, personally. And then if the person's there, it's like, how can you let this person treat you like that?
Oh, do you know that?
Or
that was the funniest saying during our time, Abademi. Do you know? When people would turn around and say, when you'd hear people turn around and say, oh man, I wouldn't take that if I were you. I wouldn't have that if I were you. Man, are you going to let them say that? You're instigators.
Or like, do you know there was one, there was one memorable one I never forget. It's like, oh yeah, when they were out on a night out, he was talking to her. That won't cause serious headbangers. People know that one. But it's like, that's the thing though. I feel like I said, college was just basically everybody understanding themselves a bit more. You know, people realizing they could do certain things. It was a status thing.
And the freedom from your parents.
That's the thing though. When you live by yourself, the freedom to go to bed whenever you want, to have sex with whoever you want, consensually. Well, there were some people that did it unconsensually, but look, they'll be dealt with in their own time. Mm-hmm. There was everything like I don't know why, but in college, do you know when you just think back and you look at it and you're just like, whoa, it's like, that's the thing. When, do you know what is it? The bit of freedom that you get, you like people. You know, you saw people's real true colors with that freedom.
And it's so, you know what else is so funny is that, like, you know, that clique that first forms in that first year, and then you watch second year come in and you're like, holy fuck, nobody talks to each other anymore. And then third year comes around and you're like, oh, I thought nobody talked to each other last year. Nobody really talks to each other this year. And then fourth year comes and you don't even know like what that person is doing anymore because you're that disinterested with their life. It's like in the space of 3 years that, although you're in such a close network and they're all still friends of friends of friends, you have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
And you, once upon a time, you would have been lying up in their bed till 4 o'clock in the morning talking about everything and anything in life. Probably smoking or doing whatever you were doing, depending on who you were, what group you were in.
But the drama, like the one thing I always tell people is avoid drama at all costs. And like people might be like, no, let me experience it. I was like, don't experience it. Look, you can if you want to experience.
It shapes you though, Abdemi. Like you have to be honest. Like to an extent, this is coming from me, who's been through so much, and I feel like
this is.
Now I could have done without a lot of it.
Me and how would disagree on this.
I could have done without a lot of it. Like I could have made way better decisions.
Don't do it. Don't listen to her. I'm being honest. If you want sanity, I'm not saying don't go and sleep with whoever you want to sleep with consensually. Enjoy yourself. Do turning things. Have fun. But see that word drama. If you want to have drama, go and join a drama club. That will really help you. I promise you. Go and learn how to do drama in drama club. But don't go and do it outside. So no, let's be honest. It drains you.
Yeah.
It's just draining. It is unnecessary. And like, use your time to do something else with your life.
Yeah, that's fair.
the college is the best place for you to be when you're in your extra time. Fix up your side hustles. Me, I wish I was doing side hustles here, not drug dealing, but and not fraud, but anything else like side hustle. I wish I had a car. I had a car. I wish I was doing deliveries when I had time. I wish I was doing all these things, but no, I wanted to be fixer. But fixer only fix.
I don't even know what I
fixer,
did, man.
Fixer only fix.
I was a little floater. Like I would just float around, go here, there, and everywhere.
But
I was never. One thing that was really good about like the kind of college scene for me, because I wasn't in college, I was never stuck to one scene. So I kind of just floated between whatever friends groups I had, which were all separate. So I mean, like if I didn't want to drink or do this or do that, I don't talk to those friends this week. I go talk to my friends that I can go and chill and watch movies with. And if I don't want to watch movies this week and I want to go party, I'm talking to those friends. And if I don't want to party and I don't want to watch movies, I'm gonna go and smoke with those other friends or do this or do that.
You know what was crazy though? Isn't it crazy what little things sometimes start a drama?
Oh yeah.
And like it's something that's
people are so sensitive though. So sensitive.
It's like any little thing can kick them off. But I feel like it was. Is it what's an inferiority complex?
Inferiority complex.
Yeah.
It's like, well, inferiority complex doesn't really. It just seems to me like, well, like that would indicate to me somebody who is like lesser than everyone else. You know, like they would have this idea of being less than everyone else. Whereas like a superior complex or like a.
Maybe that's the word I'm trying.
I think more like a delusions of grandeur. Do you know what delusions of grandeur is?
We're using big words today.
Delusions of grandeur is basically someone who has high opinions of themselves, despite their low, actual backing to it. Like they're not actually these people that they have illusions of themselves to be.
That's the word there. Whatever she said, that's the word there.
Delusions of grandeur.
But yeah. Look, I think that's the one thing like people need to realize. For anybody, whoever gets this far, you're going into college. One thing you need to realize is, my advice is, stay out of drama and enjoy it. Hey, we don't call me my government name on this, please. But nah. You know what really hit me though? When that first sleep I had when I graduated, and I was just like, shit, life's about to get real. No more counting on Auntie Susie to come in your account anymore. No more counting on SAF to help you once every 4 months, every 3 months. No support anymore. Like you're in the big bad world now. You got to make your own money. There's no more help from all these people anymore. It's you really against the world. You got to find your own house now. You got to do all these things. And you got to be more responsible.
Yeah, I can imagine
this
the
responsibility that, and thank God I got into a good place. And I got into good programs straight away. Not straight away, but like I had okay jobs, and like where I am now is okay. But the responsibility that falls onto somebody.
I think though that's also like a sheltered life. So like not a sheltered life, but like when you don't work from a young age. Like I started working really young, which meant that I started becoming self-sufficient from a really young age, which meant that like my ambitions were way ahead of themselves. Like I wanted to move into my own place. I was 19 and I had my own house, well, my own apartment with 2 friends, but like paying full rent, full everything,
yourself something
reliant, like I don't know what the word is. Self-sustained, I don't know, independent anyways. But like I had been able to gradually build up to that point to then have a car and to do everything really organically and not take any handouts from anything, and then have them ripped away from me. I know like the dependency people must have put on Susie coming in every month without having a job and shit. That shit is probably scary.